It was in your dreams how fast. It was in your dreams how fast. It was in your dreams how fast. It was in your dreams how fast and far in a dream to die. For the life is broken winged bird that couldn't fly. For the whole fast of the dreams and where I go for the bitter feel for the freezing snow. But I can never go there to know somehow you look or maybe a dying beast with a sense of word. For the nothing lasts a struggle for the flesh under the weather. For the other for the glance and agonizing. I can find the eye from the passing away from the hand to down the sky, I suppose. Easy as laughing down and dancing steady for the beat of the walking and taking you with the marching feet down and pacing. I find them easy to roll for the leaves like a death in the face and soul. For the smear for the breaks and this can be the breaking. Alright, what I say, for maybe that bass with the rock and shirt with the bed. Fonding myself. Finally over the fondling. It was nice enough that I was bonding with myself. But someday to meet myself face to face and walking down the road and I can find out at least well enough was in the bed. I was never so to eat their shoes of dust when I was sold the day for came for the earth and the dust and rose and over and still not lying. Maybe I can open up my eyes and see something different. The perspective that I gave myself, that would be something healthy. Find you with me, such a board. Paying poor is never restored for me. In my future or in different colors like that. Or I can explain that message for the grabbing of what you can find in desperate as secrets to understand. Or maybe it was the feet of Jesus and Lord have mercy coming to drip down. And maybe for the feet of Jesus I can find a stand. And feet to stand for the police reach out your hand and touch me. Touch me with your light. Maybe it was something different than I can perceive from the insight. I'd rather turn the corner for run from yourself. But you can find it for the knowing yourself. For the knowing that you have turned all corners and you are left. Use your last breath for the same words. For the duplicated, for the different to not love you anyway. For the fluing away for the circle. Me like a moth to the flight and light. This is the light. Light for the meaning of the day, for the dead, the desire for the family, the fire call for the two that flame. And you got no wings anymore, for there's nobody to blame. Not me anymore for the places and I can believe that you can find a place inside of yourself. You're timid and holding accountability for yourself. I wish that you would never blown out that birthday candle for the hands that empty but clean, but enough for mind to build a word. And for the right for the himself, for the faith, for the heart, for the strength, and for the girl, for the build, and heart for the dreams, for the mind start to take away for the eyes that look upon the world. For the, you can see that for the one, the great. Which is a sword, the boy of the left, for the be a boy, for the boy of the hands, the dreams, the time, for you can find a community for the dream, for just a dream alone, for not the world alone, for the big run into the hands, for building for the long time ago, for the long and how, the ship across the sea, for this to be the adventure, the booty secret. Free man for the flavor, the save, the slave man for the dream for the heart, for reaching out to the heart, and hand, reaching out to your hand and your heart, heart for the seed, for the freedom, for the word, for the always be, for the death, for the down to earth, the wind, for the cloud, the hands, for the proud, for the death, for the be the adventurous one, finding death for the street, and the axe in his hands. I never went to south when they found the transported it after the crack for the wind for the whips and distant eventually to find the adventure for the can find the foundry here over there for the best of the decided to continue to praise the Lord for decided to take it for granted for what you said a long time ago. God for the eloquence and for the be the heart for the heavens and what you said for the man for the heaven for the human being and ever not for the meaning for anyone for the never to the band for said for the left for God for the free for the listening to land for the wrong way away from freedom for this will be never told for this we know how we ever call the darkness and for your nation for the battle for the cloud roll away for the greater with a man for the either united or not, and I can be segregated for the end of the win. I wanted never to discourage you, never to be building yourself for the true and the tree, or be wrong or strong. Never to see what's dropped and never to be over buried for the rats and the shred, for the shepherd, the road, for the races, the people who never shade in your hand, and the room for the clouds to ride on. Turn the light on for you could be acting shadier. In place, in the fire, in the feather, for the wicked, I can never be a genius, child, and never be clever, for the clever, but never I can never believe it, you believe it, real, I never believe it, clear, by the cook for the bone, the monster, for the fighting of the name, for the summon, for the out of hand, for the find the outer course of two. Sing soft as you can, whistle it. I knew when that you were misunderstood. Misunderstood for the center of this combination for the gotta aim for the this be the I cannot find not life to come down from the spring for this is love and life for only to be human enough to get not be alone. Not one for the down, not give it if they got to find a good love for the spread the sweet home. Yeah, I don't wanna be there for the ever seen that. Habitation is good to recognize it. God moves in mysterious ways and you never know. I lay him to the death and I pray to you. Never had you to learn how to pray for the wave and save the footsteps in the sea. For you to unfathomable grind, I work through this sovereignty. Will for the unfolding of the every hour for the love and heaven. Meditation, sweet love and father. I believe it and be sure for the heaven. Working this will be the interpreter for the only making. It sounds so good enough for this.
It was a melody for your regression. Strong now, hold your false in your light. I find your aura in my sight. place for you in the receiving of the word. Your bondage and make it prison. What your person mind of fame and mature enough to help another to be free. For the sword, for the bondage, for the short, the short, the beauty, for the love, for the divine, independent, for the there is your ugliness. Or you didn't like that I said that. Maybe you should have said it better. Instead of listening to whether you for the divine of the obvious and the more complicated enough for the pervading, for the entire, for the game. Or you can find out for the game, for the gender, for the eternity, for the ender, for the fantasy game. But you can find out with the over out and the actual yourself for the mistake. And after to draw your own conclusion that being easily overwhelming. And appreciate for the learning, for the this would be the only to find a boredom. They were transported into the world for the only knowledge and artisan for the help you trying to overcome. And never be the complicated, but you can find a life that's undereducated, for the overly educated enough to be in life. And this is the life that you can want to live, and whether you can control it for the possibility of it without. I hope the sharpness inside that. Evil serenity for your regression. Strong now, hold your thoughts in your light. I find your aura in my sight. Evil serenity for your regression. Evil serenity for your regression. Evil serenity for your regression. Strong now, hold your thoughts in your light. I find your aura in my sight. There is no place for you in the receiving of the word. Your bondage and make it prison. What your person mind of fame and mature enough to help another to be free. For the sword, for the bondage, for the short, the short, the beauty, for the love, for the divine, independent, for the there is your ugliness. Or you didn't like that I said that. Maybe you should have said it better. Instead of listening to whether you for the divine of the obvious and the more complicated enough for the pervading, for the entire, for the game. Or you can find out for the game, for the gender, for the eternity, for the ender, for the fantasy game. But you can find it. Evil serenity, evil serenity, evil serenity, evil serenity for your regression. Strong now, hold your thoughts in your light. I find your aura in my sight. There is no place for you in the receiving of the word. Your bondage and make it prison. What your person mind and fame and mature enough to help another to be free. For the sword, for the bondage, for the short, the beauty, for the love, for the divine, independent, for the there is your ugliness. Or you didn't like that I said that. Maybe you should have said it better. Instead of listening to whether you find out of the obvious and the more complicated enough for the pervading, for the entire, for the game. Or you can find out for the game, for the gender, for the eternity, for the ender, for the fantasy game. But you can find out for the over out the actual yourself for the mistake. And after to draw your own conclusion that being easily overwhelming. And appreciate for the learning, for the this would be the only to find a boredom. They were transported into the world for the only knowledge and artisan for the help you trying to overcome. Never be the complicated, for you can find a life that's undereducated, for the educated enough for the be in life. And this is the life that you can want to live, whether you can control it for the possibility of it without. The sharpness inside that. I will erupt like a volcano for this shit is ice, so ice, ice, and for the cold heart, for the fun. Give to the gas, and for that. Be to me, I still for you, suppose I had a reason to say I didn't know I had a black mind anyway. If I time I didn't do something no different, no matter, I don't not be rather than inside that thing for the uniqueness of the word. You can call it word and you can call it a verb or move with the word action for the concern, for the just to be the writer for the satisfaction, for the decipher whether or not you can have that go for the script or spell for the revelation you be taken to reference. And I can kind of find a concern for the you to be enjoying learning and listen until you find out gets elapsed. And detailing with the screening for the dismiss for the accusation. You can find that for the scheming, the forging, or your latitude and gratitude. Maybe your attitude was sarcastic, but the coin away for the this will be found, you change. Or going straight back to the restraint. Train of thought, he was ran over for the finding informal material for the detailing for the skin and that's what you can be. You're just some category of philosophy. And there was a conflict with the opposition. And it was never looking in any other direction because you had to move forward and keep on moving. You had to improve. You had to give your best. And this was to be for the rest of the going on for this spirit waking. I am spiritually awakening. I am never making it going back to sleep anymore for the same repetitive ways that I can do when they give it up and they need for the cause of my eyes to be open and everything for the visible realm. And the same. The same for the not seen. For the same for the shut your mouth and your eyes and go sleep down. Sleep and wake in the blue consciousness and you can call. Now I can evolve. Now I can cover. I can be there for the you can be daddy, brother, or Glover. Or I can stuff you inside of your mother. Or mother, you came from a mother back and wait for the day for the womb for the way for the be the XY chromosome for that you chose. Yourself is looking forward to nothing but the oblivious except tomorrow. Planning your future, you don't have an idea because you never asked why. There was a conflict of the opposites being caught in the process. There was a conflict of the opposites being caught in the process.
conflict of the opposites, calling the process of becoming an opposition for the realizing your strife and pain. Oh, in the process of becoming your opposition, the realizing the strife and pain, for the desire to get out of the birth to the conflict for the duality. Again, you're always engendering for the fear for the giving the birth to the conflict for the opposites and overcoming what has been transformed. It is into the which is desire, for the opposite contain the germ of its own, for the virtue for the opposite of the device, and seeks to be the virtue, for this to be the opposite of you, for this to be the outcome, for the beauty is not from that to deny the other. You can never become no greed for the ignorance, can never become enlightened, and you can find the greed to still greed when it tries to become none. Become yourself in the throne of conflict, for the dissimilars for the changing of duality, this is opposing desires and conflict for the existence when you're not understood. And if we can understand what is due to the choiceless and the awareness of whether or not the condemnation for the justification for the identification, or what if you find or identify, I can identify the thing between my eyes. I would never lie to you, I would never lie down with you either, for the dividing of the word you can find a creative word of research yourself, point of reference and knowing who you are, where you come from. Or maybe you will know your origin, unless you with the esoteric over everything you need to know inside that planet and looking for yourself for the interest in this to be the blessing of the message, and you can hear beyond it. That for the technology, you're no different from the dark matter. You matter or not, whether you have it in the dark and needs to spend time for the much. What you working on for the life of the living, for the faith, and then you can shall be for the instrument for the state sucking your gravitation to pull the spiritually speaking. You make it indifference. Until you find your passion, we mean in this and all the different levels, ignoring your lower energy centers and all of your level. I can find that for the this for the sexual passion, enough for the friendship, for the love, for that, for the work you do, for the society, for the world, for the putting it back when they're holding you in front of your center. This is not a job I can have it. Once is this is done for the game, then you can return that happens from the truth. That's the divine you wish you do, and never regret for nothing that you do. For the wish you had it done, and different to chastise yourself. And learn that for the equality, for the maybe that you can find that nature has all mistakes and never for what isn't. You can find an instrument that you can call the standard. It was a mistake for the arithmetically divine, for your calculation to simply be seen. And rather slowly, you're not whether or not to be to tell the truth and something other correct. And grasp your situation on your breath. Express for the manifestation, whether we're stuck with the gravitational pull. I guess I can make a difference. You are like Jupiter, liquid unites it. Of course, I'm cold. I am held inside the remaining of my soul that a twist is fine and twist to turn about and find a way to find it like a flipping the bitch or going the other way. It was a drastic place and measure for the measure it was the only way enough for that you can find a packet of piece inside of it over the piece by for the F I had it not plug it what was word I can find common grade but don't get trapped inside the genocide. Whatever you do is whatever you do. Make sure you do it your best. And it was a message to my past self for the only to believing inside of the potential for the back of the negative thinking and self-doubt for the crucial times, and you can find that for the positivity when wishing and watching when over the memories and even over the fears and circumstances that held on to the faith and purpose. You take that step for the forward, believing that bigger picture for the you can say that for the today, and I could never give it. It was a message to myself and never for the doubt for the crucial times, and I needed me for this, not for the suffering, for the joy and the turn and find the experience, and not for the beginning for the subsiding for the what you would go on until I die or losing, but never the feeling of joy. Giving by myself for the suffering for the what you can have. I came and learning for the Buddha, for the baby, the promise and the constant joy, for the practicing what we failing of heaven, suffering for the bar, heavenly, heavenly Father for the Christ. He reigns inside of me for the consciousness, for the nothing is wrong, for the one to feel the joy, for the not to suffer, for the limitation to find a yoke behind your find become adept to what you find and that losing your feeling and over you are justified. Values and this be the way forward. She developed not to negotiate the transition from the suffering to joyness with the promises that you're constant joy. I am focus. Maybe that's the key word that you should have noticed. The empathy for the natural knowledge and help that for the what you become experiment for the don't dream anymore for the formulas and the coordinate for yours like the electricity for the through what water I am a dream for this to be the peace and happiness for all the love of the life for the be you. The gift for that for the clarification for the you can find the presence inside the dark for the lion cup. I am for the cup inside of my head for the blocks of life for the I can find the truth for this up to the love of the life for the truth. This to be the natural come back to you for the I am more the coordinated to the unique consciousness and consciousness. Both of the balance for the what you contain. Irrelevant for the this I was born for the sight for the hearing for the music and I can chatter for the life for the beat static for the vision for the empathy for the natural the knowledge and I can have that for the most of the higher amount the overly expressive for the dirt for the aggress abuse for the enough for the not to dreaming for the formats and coordinate for the doors and codes and buying and those are unique enough for they can take.
Yearning and knowledge that drives them to the academic for the follow for the dreams and pushing them together for heights greater, higher. It's the problem for the self-confidence and the legacy to shine life from the shell. His hand guiding into the being the best in himself and the spoken the unconnection for the me between the lover for the city behind the stars speak of sky. I find it embracing the lowly them closer than that for the good of a roar for the throat for the blood. Soaked warrior for the defense, but it's rightfully theirs, and the fierce summon is strong. It's the whistling in the wind for the rustles of the hair, for the gardener who plows his land, for the just enjoying the soils of his soil, spoils of that, for the paternal love, for the honor of the newborn, for the parent, for the lift of the gentle kiss of the footing, for the tearful joy, for the make his life precious. It's that courage for the spurs of the journalists, for the giving the justice, for the otherwise even high, and exposed to that for the fear, for the one they see inside, I suppose. Help the architect for the give me the words, so that made the marvel for the made for the characters of their own evolution to stand between the masses of the witness and the genesis and authors of their own frame and forms and formed the roll into the being who walked into the dark. Curriculum for the this be the circus for the passages of their own becoming, for the solve of their own eyes and destinies and shapes of being and through them. I worship the head for the hedgerow. Maybe the architect of truth for the one for the finnery, for the decks and the middle of the painting, for the declare I have pacified the theory, regardless of the race and right to one, for the lovers of the with the in the bitter periodic table, the elements and to be the distant eye for the God. Coast that but the only you can find the right to create it for the equivalent for the higher creation and that healing power for this to be a person or be the invoke from the death for the end of spilling of the word according to the myth of the eye for the set to be been brought for you by their brother for the protecting of the forces and chaos and the threatening of the well-being for the continuation of the life for the returning to each of the world I dispel for the chaos and brought to a return and suppose that is to find yourself in the woman in the eyes of a teacher for the spy or there will be a good reason for you to be upon this earth for the dis to be the good into the wonder for the good or bad for the woman in your eyes to conclude that in context in me. I can find the form or conform to the cultural patterns and expect that for this to be the latter for the not. It's all kept for the strong, or maybe eventually becoming beneficial enough for the saviors to be many for the this to be the only throw for the losing uniqueness in the individual. I don't believe that I can find a transform into the generic, or maybe that was imperative for the this to be the developing. Virtually anyone can find a connection behind that. Or meteoric eyes, and it was only the part of that's being attached to purpose and so important enough to manufacture your political reasons and thought and actions. And maybe the voice leads some satisfaction for the danger to be an all man for the individuality. Transforms yourself into develop your. This is only helping you specifically for your only checking your thematic ways and waiting through your only drop me something food for thought. This is only the passage where you get lost, freak yourself and your resources in the song. Yourself to where your own. And on top of that, you can find that is a deity for the having their own slightly different way for telling you what they want and like and dislike for the watching range out for your window turning radio on. So any stereotype for the meaning to you for the tendency to get the strongest reaction when something is really wrong. I find an offering to define a ritually impure by the accident this shrine. Got a little too dusty, of course. Maybe the alternative is to find it you can cross that reference point. You see if anything is left to offer the same sort. The same thing for the before that reaction was occasional for the you could be offering it again for the divination for the I can find divine ways of watching you for the center for the you don't need no cars or no chariots. I can see you without the carrot eyes and I'm a man of gold for the words of the first for the time for the live with the only your mind out of your mind for the out of the question to start off with the only to sometimes asking what was the only for the dinner for the you could be the only to sending you back for the sometimes delay back to your own reaction. For example, you could have an ex. That's what I'm overlooking for the training of the mind, looking for the loopholes that will send you back to making sense in that person, having their personal perspective, and you can find the maintenance inside of that for the dust off them cobwebs, or get away that dust and find a laboratory for your theories, for your hybernaries, and trying to find the mass appeal. For this would be the inferior, for this would be the comparable to the distance of the Pluto. Of course, it confirmed my mind is a germ to these are. My final frontiers to that for the space, for the this, for the living. You are so manipulative and giving. You're grieving for what you find in the morning time. Is this is not for the intercession for that you can find a great honor, for the blessing for the Lord, or for the direction of the enemy, for the providing for the dressing of the garment, for the things to be the gift. Can I help you with the people that choose to choose to the end of this? So for the better life, I can see better, I can find a better, I can find a better, I can find a better, I can find. The world has never been without a living master. Beneath all the impelling forces, creations, and spirituality, your primal cause. Primary that it could be gone alone. Driving the force will always lead to the us enjoying its horse. This is the living being, for the up to man. spiritual flame for the life is struggling. I go for the onward door, the source of being. From this with the spore, so it be the struggle for the going on to the last speck of dust for the return of the central fire of the infinite being. And the message to the master fills the world with a hope at the same time. It is all for the rational foundations as such. I can only tell for the people what they should do to the offering. This would be the definite for the method of doing it, and more explanation for the marching of age. A cycle after that for the every cycle planet for the distance of human beginning to reside for the greater matter of the planet bears that for the world for the until the ages of degree for the ages never will remain the friends and savior for those who struggle towards the light divine spark in each one and always struggling for freedom for the striving to against that hard the adverse occurrence for the reaching out for the feeble hand for the towards and master in the kindness in your heart I find a reason to start heaven for the lies beneath the lead for the heart baby it's a process to define it what crashes and relapsing happen doesn't mean you're not progressing at all your recovery is more for the second game for the game for the grain for the pain for the rain for the home for the sunshine and whatever ever you can find around for the sound for the darkness of the sound state this is the inward running towards your withdrawal this is phenomenon for the withdrawal from words we passing express this to go for the inward place for the metaphors to signify the nine gates I can't reach your place for the before for the jump for the under and you can define it beyond words for the great for the sound for the fortunate of the disciple and seeing with our eyes and hearing with our ears and walking with our feet and working with our hands and uttering that name without a tongue for dying but living with accepting of a will what your own eyes cannot see what your human ears do not hear what your physical hands cannot touch your inconceivable to the human mind will give you to the introduction not for the B for the O for the O for the I for the I for the O for the C for the C for the O for the B for the B for the B for the wrong you coping back the source of present needs to be in corner for every time and that for the separated from the source of veil but either ignorance and the requirement for the initiation of course I had the patience to this deep with the eyes can't see or ears and humans do not hear but I can find an inconceivable never have a rational thought for the portal to be explained and that mercy of that has to be known to the unknown I have learned from now to walk with the feet for the seat with the eyes to the hear with the ears to the drink with the mouth for the fly with the wings without with them you can have them bright with love and meditation to that land for the sun is the moon north of the day and the night without eating for the taste of the sweetness and of your nectar without a water or quenching my thirst for the distance of the daughter for responsible to the light for the fullness of joy I could be uttering these words for the distant beyond words the great fortune of the disciple or the prophet I could be that for the more for the life of the Messiah given me for the right for the distant be the highest for the doors to greet the eyes of the gift of the world for the own and the interpretation of the word and the beauty for the reciting their praise and confessing the storm I arrow to the mind for the instructor for the words of the swiftness of the world for the distant inevitable for the state for the sweetness and sharpness and that course that no end who knows no end and never sustains his descents and that's for the incoherence for the workingness in all night dawn of thought world for the only converse worlds conversing that mouth for the highest one spoken to and clear by the words is just a dwelling place for the word and for the truth is love for God's devotion and love for thee to find the realm inside that peace be with you inside that peace be to you inside that peace be in you and filled with the words the truth and the speak at the same time for the flow